Hi you guys, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft. I have cleaned my desk just a little bit so I have some better space to work and you can see a little less junk in the view. Let's make sure there we go. So I'm ready to do another of the page kits that I had pulled. This one is New Year's, like at midnight. So I have some gold to add to it, a few little pieces of ephemera that I pulled. I didn't know if there might be something from here. Maybe the Celebrate. I don't know, we'll see. I have this as a scrap. And then these are the two pieces of paper that I pulled. They're both from Shimelle. What I need to decide. So I had initially thought that. However, it's pretty busy. So what do I do to maybe make it not so busy? So I could do like a really big border of this, or make a big square or circle of this to go on here. Maybe that might work. Or I could make a smaller, like, does that enhance it? It definitely helps bring in the gold. So maybe I do a border of this, a quarter inch border of this, and a circle of it in here to evoke some of these circles. And it'll still be busy, but maybe a little more manageable. But it's New Year's and there are balloons. So let me do those couple of things. I will speed that up in the video very quickly and come back to you. All right, so this is sped up. I think I ended up doing it 3.7 or something, so it goes really fast. But you know, this page came together really, really fast. I don't know why. I think maybe I was just more decisive than I usually am. I'm not sure. But I think it only took me 40 minutes total, beginning to end. So here I am gutting out the star paper. I love this piece of paper. Purple is my color. And who doesn't love gold stars? So I am rounding these corners just to give a little interest, and because so many circles on there, so just to remind you of that rounded element. So that's pretty fun. I didn't get it exactly square the first time, so I pick it up and adjust it. That's why I like repositionable. And now I'm going to get my Creative Memories circle cutting system. And I could cut it on this glass mat, but I decided to pull out my Creative Memories cutting mat just in case. And this goes really easily. And I used the blue cutter on that blade so that it would be a little bit smaller. The blue is the furthest away from the channel, if you're not familiar with that system. I love it. I use it a lot. And I have all the shapes. So just reducing the size of these borders. I had a little bit of a struggle figuring out which way was up on that balloon picture. But that's the balloon drop. We were on a cruise, and it was a Royal Caribbean ship, so they have the big central atrium, and they had a giant balloon drop. It was packed. I think every person on the cruise was in that atrium during the balloon drop. So I'm thinking I'm going to say New Year, and then I found this hello in glitter turquoise, and then the new is Vicky Boutin. And then I'm going to write year using this Spellbinders glitter thickers. So 3 different companies to make the title. And I fuss around with it a bit just to get everything placed sort of the way I wanted it. I want them sort of to nestle in with each other a little bit, but still be a little bit staggered. So this is not the final placement, but it's getting close. And I have it, and then I decided I want to add 2025. And I start by adding it at the bottom, and it's just making the page too bottom heavy. So I decide I'm going to put that up at the top. And then I want to mat the photos, and I go off trying to look for cardstock to mat them with, or another pattern paper. And I decide, you know, I'm going to use the gold. We're going to lean into the scraps that I pulled. Now, unfortunately, I can't fit both on this one scrap. So I pulled out another sheet of that paper, and that is from scrapbook.com, holographic and mirror paper. I use it quite a bit. So just a thin gold. When you're dealing with the gold, it doesn't need to be thick to have impact. So I'm kind of liking that. I guess I could have done those sort of askew, but that wasn't on my radar at the time. So see how that the E goes up a little, and that's right where there's a little hump in the hello as well. So they sort of nestled in pretty well together. I realized one of these edges wasn't straight. I had not sure why. I had cut it so crookedly. I must have scissor cut it just to chop out a bit of paper or something. So I'm pretty happy with that. And now I want to figure out a way to make the 2025 show up better. So I'm going to find a scrap of paper. I thought maybe this Shimelle might work, but then I found this one, which is just solid. There are patterns in all of those circles, and so I decided I didn't need to add another different pattern to the paper. So I'm going to get my circle system again. And this time I'm going to use the middle blade, or the green blade. And I'm going to have it going off the paper. So I'm liking that. And I'm going to see if I can outline that in gold. So I mess up this first cut of it. The paper shifted slightly, so I ended up with a wonky circle, and I couldn't recut it. and it was obviously wonky and it was down at the bottom. So I'm just going to recut it. No big deal, but I don't need the full circle, so I just cut it off the top and then create a nice even mat. And that's going to go at the top. So ready to commit to both of these items. I think this page is pretty fun, actually. I'm enjoying it. Now, I could have taken that other circle off the page, but because I had the same paper as the frame, I thought that might look weird. So I'm leaving space between the circle and the frame. So just a couple of small balloon embellishments that I pulled, and on this sticker sheet there were some sort of starbursts, which I thought might be perfect. And this says, "You got this," as in you've got this new year. And that little label says, I think, "Together." And then I like this better than the floral. It says, "Wow." And then I can't really remember what that sticker said. So now I'm just arranging the ephemera. And I decided that the halo on these balloons was a little too wide. I wanted it thinner, so I just fussy cut it a little bit to make a thinner halo, and I like that much better. I did not ink on this page just because of the bright colors, and things are standing out pretty well anyway, so I didn't bother to ink. So just getting those things sort of adhered down. And I'm going to move that little coffee cup. They were holding their mugs. And then just rearranging some things. So rather than that starburst just randomly up by the title, I decided to add it to the cluster. And then there were these little plus signs. I decided to use those as scattering elements. So I found 3 of those. And I'm going to do gold Nuvo drops. So that's the last step. I do glue down those little pluses because they're not very sticky. So please give this video a thumbs up and come back for more content. I think in my next video, you're going to get a flip through of a huge Disney album that I did quite a few years ago, but it's a great album and it might give you some ideas. So that's it, and I think we're going to be ready for some close-ups. If you like this page, please comment and even make any suggestions that you have for how you would do it differently. I'm always looking to improve my scrapbook pages. Thanks a lot, you guys.